Greetings, ladies and gentle readers. I'm Dwyer, and I just finished Mageling and Book 2 Mage, a quote slice of life progression fantasy. And I'm actually surprised this doesn't have more reviews at the moment. I'm actually shocked. This apparently came out, as you can see here. Go away, not you. Back in March? Yes, back in March. And I have read, as you know from my channel, I have read me a lot of really terrible books in that time. Some would even say that I read entirely too much, and you might not be wrong about that. But that is okay. But it's a very weird thing. It's a very weird thing. Because when I went into this expecting a very mediocre read, because it's like, okay, yeah, 5-star doesn't mean anything. But, 700 ratings, and I've seen a lot of things that are, like I said, really, really high rated. So I read this, and it's like, oh, interesting. And I really, really enjoyed it. I think this is clearly, in terms of fantasy, I could even see argued S tier fantasy with what it is right now. So I'm shocked this isn't apparently talked about more, reviewed more, all that good stuff. Well, all I can say is maybe I can kind of see why it's not as noticed. Because even though I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with the cover, for example, the meta of books nowadays, you have to admit, like all of the skills, for example, right? Like all of the skills. It's bright, it's vibrant, it pops at you. Even some of the books that I think aren't as great, like Alpha Zero, again, it's kind of got like that whole popping thing. Arcane Academy, it gives you like the Dark Souls vibe, so you'll probably get interested in that. Here, again, Arcane Knight, again, not maybe the greatest, but you can see that there's like a lot going on the cover. The covers are always like getting your interest and trying to make you like pick it up and be like, hey, there's stuff going on here, right? So the very minimalist cover that we see, for example, with Mageling, and we also see with Mage, you can kind of understand why maybe it's not grabbing everyone's attention compared to the competition, which is going way out of their way to like just like wrap their hands around your throat and be like, read me, read me. Like, I totally get that. So maybe a minimalist cover like here that is literally just black and white with like a little splash of red for the title. Again, I think it fits nicely, but I can see how some people could maybe skip over it. Another unfortunate reason why I think some people are skipping over this book is the title of the series, Millennial Mage. Like, I think I know what Millennial Mage is actually referring to, but Millennial is also something that evokes a completely different idea. It's like, oh, okay, this is probably going to be like some millennial in medieval times, and I don't know if I want to read about that. So I think maybe some branding and unfortunately a little bit of presentation is why this is getting not quite the amount of attention that I totally, absolutely, 100% feels like this book deserves. But yeah, don't let these unfortunate things stop you from picking up this book and enjoying it. Because there are so many reasons to enjoy this. For starters, we've got a female main character, which I admit when I see a book nowadays with a female main character, I get a little nervous. It's like, okay, what kind is it gonna be? Because I've read some fantastic books with some female main characters. Nevernight pops to mind immediately. Absolutely fantastic, strong female main character. Red Sister, oh, absolutely another one. Just 10 out of 10 books right here. Sabriel, if you read this when you were a kid, again, really great one. And I've read some that aren't that great, like Shadow and Bone. Even though they're well read, they're just not very, they don't have very good characters. So the question to my mind then is, what kind of book is this going to be? Is this going to be a book where there's like a main character and she's special for reasons that she's just special, and all of the, male characters in the entire world are just like drooling over her. And things just kind of go right, despite the fact that she never really tries or, does anything. Essentially, just, female wish fulfillment that seemed to like really resonate with a lot of people. Like some books I will not name. But I was pleasantly surprised that this is not falling into that category. We've got a female character called Tala, just out of Magic Academy, as you can clearly see by the description. So we're not doing the whole going through school thing, which, cool. But now she's taking her first steps into the world outside. And oh man, this author is flexing on so many fronts, because not only do they have an interesting magic system that we're immediately thrown into the middle of, because this isn't her learning to use her magic. Like, she's already done the academy bit, and now she's trying to make her way in life, right? And we're thrown into the midst of that. So the author is immediately showing you how the magic system works. They're not going to like just tell you and be like, yeah, this works this way and this works this way. It's like, no, she knows her stuff, and whoa, blam, we're in the middle of it. So we kind of hit the ground running. That alone would have made for an interesting book. But the world is also very interesting, because does it tell the description? I don't think it does. Description. It doesn't, though you learn it. Okay, kind of. Until a while. There's some hints in there, sure. But essentially, the world is a life and death cycle of cities. In this world, it's interesting because cities kind of siphon like magical power from the area. It builds. That attracts bigger monsters to wipe them out. So as the defenses get overwhelmed, they're falling back section by section. Eventually, the city dies, a new one has to be made, and the cycle continues over and over again. There's some weirdness in there, but I love the idea of this life and death cycle of these cities across this world that they're in. So a city is not just like how many people does it have, like what's their specialty? Is this like a crafting city? Like whose seat of power is this? No, it's also where in the life cycle is this city? Is it a brand new one where it's like new and vibrant and there's a lot of things going on? Is it in the middle where it's slowly being overrun by like the outside? Is it in its death throes where there's like only one district remaining as the rest of humanity like clears out? There's a lot of really good thoughts for world building in here. I was shocked. We have a lot of really fascinating things coming together. So I'm kind of offended that we got only 700 ratings on this really well thought out book here. So, all right, the magic system's interesting. The world's interesting. Where's the downside? Maybe it's the dialogue. Maybe it's going to be the dialogue, right? Yeah, the dialogue's going to let it down. No, dialogue didn't seem stilted. It flowed naturally. It seemed like people were actually talking to each other and not just like at each other or monologuing at each other like some really bad books tend to like to do. Maybe the characters all feel the same. No, characters felt pretty individual. Maybe it's just slow and boring. If you need a fight scene like every 15 pages, maybe it will be, yeah. But no, it seemed decently paced with action and not just thrown in just for, for whatever. It seemed like it should be there. They weren't just like fighting for no reason. The one thing I will say, and I hate that I'm going to say this is a book with a female main character and it's not chock full of romance, because that stuff just prints money right now. Like it does. There are a whole bunch of really, really terrible, like marked as fantasy, but it's just romance in a fantasy section that just print money. Like 10,000 reviews instantly made the author a millionaire. Even like really crappy ones, which admittedly are a large portion of them, have thousands of reviews. So maybe if you're looking for a female main character, maybe you're also looking for romance, and then you're not seeing anything here about the romance, so you're like, I ain't reading that. Unless there's like some demon and some angel person, like, trying to get with the main character, I don't want to hear about it. Or maybe, some furry creatures, some like, furry humanoids, and maybe they're noble, and then they're attracted to the furry humanoids and can't have that because it's forbidden. I may or may not be totally describing some really, really terrible fantasy that I've read before, who I'm not going to name. But yeah, I can see maybe it being skipped for that reason. It does say slice of life progression here. That part gets interesting because it's part of the author's ability to world build that you slowly start to see the overarching conflict within the world, and it's not just like, well, bam, there's a great evil afoot. Or, well, bam, you are the chosen one to fight for some huge important cause here. It does feel like the person in this book, good old Tala, is just going about her life. And as she goes about her life, we're learning more about it. It kind of reminded me of Cradle in that in a little bit. Like, admittedly, Cradle's not quite the same because in that one, you have the main character who is like instantly finds out there's like bad things going to happen to his town if he doesn't get strong enough to like stop it. Here, we're not told that by some like angelic person that comes out and tells him. But by the time you're done with book 2, you realize there are some seriously messed up forces out there. And you even learn that some people actively stop getting stronger, like magically, because they don't want to be conscripted to fight those things. It's like, nah, I'm out. Nah, I could. Or, I gotta rearrange my sock drawer. Yeah, I ain't going out there. No, I'd love to fight it, but, not nowhere near strong enough. You don't want me. You don't want me. I got one leg. Yeah, bad cough. Can't do it. Sorry. Yeah, good luck in the war. You know? And you kind of meet someone who kind of gives you that vibe. And the question then becomes, like, is Tala going to continue to get stronger to be one of those people that fights these things that just, like, erase you from existence? But you learn more about that in book 1. But you get hints of that in book 2. Sorry, you learn that in book 2. But you get hints of that in book 1, which is fascinating. Because you can tell this is something that's been really, really well thought out. I just hope it wasn't AI written. Like, at this point, I can't even tell anymore. Honestly, it's gotten too good. I don't think it has been. I got nervous a little bit when I saw that book 1 was released in March of this year, and I saw that book 2 is being released in March. Was released in March of this year, and book 3 is being released May of this year, like next week or something. So I was a little like, oh god, I hope, please be real human writing, please, 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 please. But either way, I liked it. I really, really. Oh yeah, it does say right here, humanity shelters it with their ever dying cities. Yeah, I missed the bolt. Sorry, it does tell you there about the whole city thing. But it's so good. There are trials that she has to go through that make sense. Like, okay, I just went through a magic academy. I'm in debt now. Because that kind of really does resonate with modern society, at least here in the US. Yeah. In the US, that resonates with modern society. Because if you're going to college, you're coming out of that at like kind of like up to your eyeballs in debt. Not so much if you are in other countries and you know who you lucky are. But yeah, book 1 essentially just sets up the entire world, what's going on. Book 2, she starts getting to go through the world and learning some of the dangers of it. Book 3, I can't wait for. I hope it continues in the vein that book 1 and 2 was, because this is just really, really good. Like, I saw 0 1 stars, and It makes sense that there's 0 1 stars. I can't imagine why anyone would give this a 1 star review. And normally I can understand why someone would give something a 1 star review. There's usually plenty of reasons. This, I just loved. If you're looking for a book that is in any way close to what I described, pick up Mageling, pick up Mage. You're going to enjoy it. Book 3 is out, I want to say, like on the 24th. Sorry, not this week, next week of recording, sorry. And yeah, congratulations, JL Mullins. I don't know who you are, but I love what you do. And I hope more people actually encounter what you do. They'll absolutely enjoy it. Absolutely enjoy it. If you know someone who likes reading, they haven't come across this book yet, spread the word. Because like I said, there's a lot of really terrible books that have over like 2,000 ratings, whose characters feel flat, the world feels generic. Just not this one. Not this one at all. You can tell that a lot of thought has gone into the creation of this. And they absolutely 100% deserve more eyes on their work. So yeah, Mageling and Mage, check them out. I'm not even going into spoilers this time, because I wouldn't want to ruin any of this for anyone. If you do, check it out. Let me know if you liked it. If you've already checked it out, I already know that you have. I'm Dwyron. Hope you're enjoying this book, and I will see you next time. Take care, buddy.